That's why he's alive and later.
Well, he's alive, yeah. He wouldn't say
not
yes.
right.
Yeah, it's not right.
It's not right, because you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want nobody waiting on me to get knocked off.
Yeah.
In a crash.
Yeah.
Or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's just not the right thing to do.
Yeah, okay. I'll take care of it. I'm coming.
Yeah, if anything those Teslas are real quiet. You can drive right up.
I'm coming.
Yeah, if anything those Teslas are.
Those Teslas are real quiet. You can drive
Heath Ledger's is undoubtedly one of Hollywood's strangest celebrity deaths, and many conspiracy researchers believe the acclaimed actor's demise had all the signs of an Illuminati sacrifice.
Kill me.
Fresh off filming his most iconic role as Batman's Joker in The Dark Knight, Ledger was found unresponsive in his bed by a masseuse whose first call was not 911, not the police, but none other than Mary-Kate Olsen. Olsen promptly dispatched her private security team to the room, who actually made it to the scene before paramedics. One can only speculate what bodyguards were supposed to do about a lifeless man, but theorists suggest they were there to clean up certain evidence from the scene.
If she suspected this was a life and death situation, why is she calling Mary-Kate first? But then the thing that is really damning here and suspicious, if you want to go to the darkest place of all, which is why did Mary-Kate then call her bodyguards and send them to the scene of the death?
Many of these security firms act more like fixers, making it so that no matter what their rich and famous client does, it is like it never even happened. They are experts.
Hollywood fixers go back to the golden age. These are shady gumshoe types, not unlike myself, who know how to assess a situation when there's a problem, when irreparable damage can be caused to the celebrity who's involved in something shady, and these are the guys who make the problems go away, hence the name fixers.
Mary-Kate demanded immunity before she would explain her involvement in the situation.
Weekly. All right, Lisa, legally, what is this lawyer doing? Why demand immunity?
Well, let's call it what it is. It's suspicious. You only ask for immunity if you have something to hide, right?
Some conspiracy researchers believe the actor's death could have been part of some kind of sacrifice. Those who do point not only to the strange imagery found in the movie he was working on at the time of his death, which featured Masonic symbolism and even a noose around his neck. Could Ledger's death have been part of a ritual sacrifice? While shocking to some, such an act would not be without precedent in Hollywood. When we return, the Joker's haunting smile makes its first Hollywood appearance, carved into the victim of one of the nation's most notorious unsolved murders.
She wanted out, and you don't get out.
Detectives arrive at the scene and they're shocked.
It is one of the most infamous and grisly murders of all time. January 15th, 1947, the body of an aspiring young actress was found next to the sidewalk on a vacant lot.
The detectives arrive at the scene and these are veteran homicide detectives who've seen it all, and they're shocked. They've never seen quite anything as horrific as this. It's a nude body of a young woman, carefully posed, not dumped, but carefully posed and positioned just off the sidewalk.
Dubbed the Black Dahlia by the press, her body was mutilated and carefully posed like a mannequin in some sort of sick, surrealist art fashion.
There are a number of photographs that his close friend Man Ray had made. One was called the Minotaur, which was a woman's body cut in half, posed with her hands over her head in a certain position like this. And the Minotaur, of course, was the beast, the monster from the labyrinth who devoured maidens.
But the most unsettling details were never fully published. Carved into her face was the same iconic and disturbingly wide Joker grin, now popularized by A Dark Knight. New revelations in the case lead most researchers to believe the crime was committed by prominent doctor and underground abortionist at the time, George Hodel. Hodel's son, an LA homicide detective himself, confirms his father was the killer based on personal evidence and the case file.
Come up with the fact that my father, Dr. George Hill Hodel, was the killer.
The police at the time suppressed a full investigation into Hodel. But why? Could there be a wider conspiracy beyond just a lone psychotic? George Hodel's daughter, Tamar Hodel, accused her father of incest, mind control, underage orgies, and Luciferian philosophies.
Basically, Dad's arrested and has a trial, 3-week trial. The jury comes back with a kind of a 45-minute OJ verdict and said not guilty. And this is despite the fact that we had 3 adult witnesses present in the bedroom during the acts, actually participated, involved in it.
Many researchers now believe Hodel was working in tandem with a secret group of wealthy and powerful elites.
Of course, Mom's connections, because she was married so long to John Huston, a lot of film people. Mom was a screenwriter, so lots of movie people were friends with my father, and he had all kinds of connections in the Hollywood filmdom as well as all over, power politics.
In his book, Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon, researcher Dave McGowan concludes that the Black Dahlia was recruited as a ritualistic sacrifice by members of an elite cult engaged in satanic practices. But Hollywood's macabre history of ritual murder doesn't end there. 1 year after completing his eerily prophetic film Rosemary's Baby, Roman Polanski's pregnant wife, the actress Sharon Tate, is found slain in a gruesome murder done at the hands of Charles Manson's demonic family. Could Tate's murder have been part of some type of sacrifice? The testimony of Illuminati occultist and whistleblower John Todd supports those allegations.
They were rolled up. They were a contract. He was paid to do it. Tate was breaking away. Her husband knew about it. Her husband went over to establish an alibi in Europe. The money came down. $50,000 came down from Toronto to New Orleans, and poor Manson only got $2,000 of it by the time it went through all the sticky fingers. But that's what the Tate killings were about. The others just happened to be there. She wanted out, and you don't get out. And her mistake was she was having a baby, and she didn't want the baby raised up in it, and she wanted out. Her baby was what she cared about, and that's the information that I have on it. I belong to the New Orleans branch, and he was called a still disciple or an evangelist from the New Orleans branch of the process.
Say 6 months after the murders, you're in the Alps and consorting with these girls from the finishing school and so on. I mean, I could see how you would sort of try to lose yourself like that, but is it wise to say so?
Yes, it is wise to say so. Why not? Why wouldn't it be wise to say so? That's the way it was. And that's the way it is, I mean, just different people have different way of seeing life and relationships.
The history of ritual sacrifice among Hollywood establishment has led some researchers to speculate that certain levels require a blood sacrifice from their initiates.
You want to operate in that $20 million club and higher, $100 million club where these brothers were operating in? Oh, you got to pay the price. You got to bond yourself to these people forever.
You have to sacrifice. You have to cause death and suffering. And when you cause death and suffering, it's accredited to you, and that's more power that you get.
According to one article, superstardom is reserved for those who take part in murder of a lover, parent, or sibling. Many see a familiar pattern among celebrities, in which a family member or close friend will die tragically or mysteriously, after which their career seems to take off.
Jennifer Hudson wanted to be up in that space? Yep,